20 minutes and some change. So I decided that I will knock out a video. One of the things that been pissing me off with this whole thing with the PBC and them being kicked off of Showtime along with Bellator is once again from this, from the community, the so-called culture, for people that have criticized the PBC and some of their antics, who try to play, the black card, or should I don't even want to call it a card, because I don't want to use that, I don't want to, resort to that, because I really don't like that terminology, the race card. So I'll refrain from that, or try to use the blackness scale, because I've gotten that, like this cornball that came on my channel, talking about I seem to have a problem with powerful black men such as Lonzo Ball. No, excuse me, LeVar Ball. What power do LeVar Ball have? Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders, you can make an argument that he's being used as a figurehead and a tool. And then the same thing with Al Heyman. And one dude went as far as to say that I'm jealous of him, and I hope you listening, dude, you a cornball. You sound ridiculous and you sound stupid. And I get tired of people trying to play that on code thing when you criticize somebody black, especially if they doing people that look like them dirty. At the end of the day, you can question a lot of the things that Al Heyman has done. And like I said before, had Al Heyman given us fights that we wanted and not try to basically, put together these mismatches, which, like I keep telling you, this is why I know the numbers aren't what was being reported, because otherwise they would still have their deal, or at least Showtime would be looking to possibly extend their deal maybe another year or two. But basically they couldn't wait to get out of the boxing business because the numbers are not there and the reports are not there. At the end of the day, you have these people that will try to, they're gonna, ride or die with Al Heyman and the PBC no matter what. Even though you asked this question about the PBC fighters, why hasn't Deontay Wilder been in the ring in a year? Same thing with Gary Russell. Errol Spence didn't fight for over a year. Now you have to wonder when you're gonna see Terrence Crawford again, when you gonna see some of these other dudes. You got Frank Martin, who was talked out of taking $1 million for a fight, his biggest payday. You got Steve Fulton, who was almost talked out of taking a $3 million payday. But then you question Al Heyman and his antics, but then people try to insinuate that you some kind of sellout. Man, stop it. Stop it. Don't make me laugh. But it's kind of funny. You got Leonard Ellaby. I'm not going to call the man out his name, who's sitting up here years ago, who loves to make fun of or talk crazy about other people's pay-per-view numbers, like Devin Haney's, and say, oh, I heard it did this, I heard it did that. Well, at the end of the day, Devin Haney got a fight date. He got a network to fight on. You don't. Come January the 1st. They ain't even, that's just real talk. So at the end of the day, Devin Haney got somewhere to fight. He got a fight date. Matchroom got fight dates. They got a network. Remember a while back? Oh, we don't fight on apps. Well, you about to be fighting on an app, whether it's Amazon or whether it's DAZN. When Leonard Ellaby was being smug and condescending with the media, now he's sitting up tweeting saying, y'all gonna be sick. Wait till y'all see what's finna happen. Well, we ain't gonna be sick. At the end of the day, we know it's gonna be saturated anyway. Whatever the deal is, we know it ain't gonna all but likely be another all but unlikely that it's going to be another so-called billion-dollar deal, that already calling cap on it, because I already know that them fighters going to have to take pay cuts. Like I said before, if these promotional companies, and not just the PBC, all of them have been willing to make the fights that we wanted to see, I think whether people are questioning the future of boxing, we wouldn't be having these questions and being worried about, because I am worried. I grew up watching boxing, and I don't want to see boxing like die out, because I do think boxing can be saved if you just have the right people that's aligned with it and working together. Now, Oscar said, hey, let's all get together and try to make these fights. Well, if Oscar's serious, then I'm on board with that. But like I said, look what happened. 5 to 6 years later, still haven't got Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua. When the fight was at its peak and could have got made, you couldn't get it made for whatever the reason was, because of politics that was going on. And because of other things. The biggest mistake Al Heyman made, and he did Deontay Wilder a disservice, he shouldn't have let Charles Martin go fight Anthony Joshua, when he could have easily set up a fight with Deontay Wilder and Charles Martin. But they were supposed to be making so much money. He should have been able to match whatever offer that DAZN gave Charles Martin. But see, nobody wants to have that conversation. Okay? Nobody wants to have that conversation, because anytime you bring this up, you get accused of being a coon and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sorry, I just can't pay attention to none of you dudes, especially you dudes that be trying to talk all that super pro-black militant stuff. Y'all sitting up laid up with every type of woman but a black woman. Most of y'all that be talking that super pro-black stuff ain't even married to black women, even though there is an issue with, you know what I'm saying, the behavioral patterns of black women. But that's another video for another day. But I'm just saying, y'all be talking that stuff, and then you get people that get mad when I bring this up, like one clown that be on World Combat Sports. I wasn't even talking about you, but you got all up in your feelings and hurt because you with a non-black woman, and you said that I rub you the wrong way. Well, if I rub you the wrong way, oh well, go get a massage or something, but not from me. That's just real talk. Take some pain medicine. But you just have you just have too much of that going on, and I'm not going to sit up here and spare people's feelings because they don't want me to criticize somebody or an organization that's supposed to be ran by a black person that's doing people that look like them a disservice. And I can go on and on. You got DAZN that have black female fighters, but what black female fighter did the PBC sign? They could have signed Carissa Shields. They could have signed Alicia Baumgartner. They could have signed Franchon, but they didn't. But like I said before, you guys sit up here and be trying to wag your finger and be trying to call yourself, trying to come on somebody's channel and trying to, like, first of all, no nigga that's sitting on the phone or over a computer can check me. I can say whatever I want to say, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. What you gonna do? Nothing. But this just got to be said. It's just got to be said, and I'm just gonna continue to call this out. The PBC has several chances. Now, like I said, they just burnt bridges. Al Heyman just burnt bridges, and that's just the bottom line. And you just got to tell the truth. They stalled on making Crawford versus Spence for years. Crawford versus Spence should have got made in 2019. you know. But you had people sitting up there believing that the PBC had the better roster. But then, like I said, when you look at it, whenever the PBC had outside fights that wasn't within the PBC stable, they was getting whooped on for the most part. And now people are worried. You got Ryan Garcia, you got Terrence Crawford talking. Ryan Garcia isn't a PBC fighter. Terrence Crawford had to sign a PBC deal. And based off the fact that Showtime got rid of boxing, they sitting up speaking saying, hey, they concerned. If those guys are concerned, we all should be concerned. Like I said, a lot of this stuff could have got fixed. And like I said before, we all know that whatever the deal is going to be, we all know that they're going to enhance it. We all know that Leonard Ellaby and Floyd Mayweather and guys like that go try to enhance it. And then, you know, the PBC stands are going to say, see, thank you, Al Heyman. Thank you, Al Heyman. Thank Al Heyman for what? For ruining something that has so much potential. And I don't want to hear about the lawsuits and all that kind of, because that's another excuse. People, oh, well, you know, Golden Boy and Bob Arum sued them. Well, you know, at the end of the day, they didn't win the suit. What better way to get even with these dudes by saying, you know what? We got the best fighters. We going to settle it in the ring. I'm going to put my fighters in the ring with your fighters. And we going to whoop them. But no, you couldn't get that. You had to go through hurdles to get certain fights made. Just like Al Heyman really didn't want Deontay Wilder to fight Tyson Fury two more additional times. But at the end of the day, Deontay Wilder went out like a man. Doesn't matter what the results is, he gained an even bigger following. Because at the end of the day, even though he lost to Tyson Fury back-to-back, he gained respect and he gained an even bigger following. And people respect him. But once again, we haven't seen Deontay Wilder in the ring in a year. That's the problem. You don't help fighters by keeping them out of the ring a year and in a year plus and all that kind of stuff. Ain't seen Keith Thurman in a while. The only one who is getting dates is Canelo. You have to ask yourself, why does this continue to happen? And then, you know, things is bad when you hear rumors about they want Floyd Mayweather to possibly come out of retirement. You hearing about Floyd Mayweather organizing the PBC putting together their last card on Showtime. That's gonna feature Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia on the same card, but in different fights. So this has been going on for years. Like I said, a lot of this stuff could have been prevented. I just don't hold the PBC at fault. All of them played a role in this stuff happening. And that's just fact. You know? So now you look at the PBC 6 years later, 7 years later, now they on the verge of seeking a new network deal. Because at the end of the day, you have this situation, and let's just keep it 100. Al Heyman possibly outsmarted himself. And then at the same time, his roster and his fighter suffered from him outsmarting himself. And then a lot of times, he was talking his fighters out of taking other fights that could have paid them a decent amount of money. Yeah, he came out the gate. Some people say overpaid these dudes, but then at the end of the day, as they wasn't getting no fight dates, well, the money got thinner and thinner. And then when they had a chance to go fight on other networks and fight for decent paydays, well, he talked them out of it. Like I said before, Danny Garcia passed on a $3 million payday to fight Terrence Crawford, which, like I said before, would have probably led to him probably making like $6 million. He turned down a very lucrative offer, and it ended up going to Amir Khan. He turned down a lucrative offer once again to fight Terrence Crawford. He was guaranteed $3 million to fight Terrence Crawford at Madison Square Garden. You heard Bernie the Boxer confirm it, which he would have made probably like $6 million. It would have did a decent number. The fight would have probably sold out due to, you know what I'm saying? You know, there being a lot of Puerto Ricans in the New York to Philadelphia area. People would have traveled from Philadelphia to see Danny Garcia. They would have probably had at least 18, 19, 20,000 people in the Garden. Would have did decent numbers on pay-per-view. Probably would have did at that time, probably would have did maybe close to 400,000 or 500,000. But at the end of the day, Al Haymon talked Danny Garcia out of the fight, wouldn't let Danny Garcia take the fight. And to be honest with you, these fighters should have been saying, no, I am going to take this fight. You're supposed to be the advisor. I mean, if Steve Fulton can put his foot down and say, nah, man, I'm taking this $3 billion. No telling what type of, I mean, for real. No telling when the opportunity to get a payday like this is going to come my way. No, I'm taking this fight. And that's what a lot of these dudes should have been saying, because at the end of the day, you just an advisor. And I think the problem with the PBC, they were too predicated on selling these fighters as undefeated or less is best. The less losses they have, the better off or more marketable they can be. But people needed to understand, and a lot of these fans need to understand, there's only one Floyd Mayweather or Andre Ward. And ain't nothing wrong with a loss. Hagler lost fights. Even though you can make an argument a couple of his fights, he was robbed. But that didn't, you know, basically that doesn't mean he wasn't a great fighter. He's one of the greatest fighters that ever lived. Joe Louis lost. Muhammad Ali lost. Larry Holmes lost. Mike Tyson lost. Lennox Lewis lost. Some of the greatest. Sugar Ray Robinson lost. Sugar Ray Robinson was a dude that I think fought like maybe 12 times in 1 year. That dude had 2 fights in 1 month before. So I'm just saying, that's just real talk. But this is where we are now. So like I said, you can save that blackness scale with me, because that don't work. I'm one of the very few dudes that said what people were scared to say and went directions where other people dared not to go because they was worried about backlash. So don't even try to question my blackness. That's just real talk. Don't come on here with that stuff, man. You sound stupid, man. I'm always out there. I'm always pushing the hard line. Just like I made that video a little while ago about the situation with Devin Haney and Regis Prograis and this whole, you know, hood stuff, getting it out the mud. Because like I said, we got to have these real discussions. If the PBC is where it is now, it's because of Al Haymon. He's to blame. He had a chance to get out of this on several occasions, but once again, he called himself trying to outsmart everybody. When in reality, he outsmarted himself. He screwed himself and he screwed his fighters over. You know? So now you're sitting up wondering, okay, so when are we going to see Tank again? When are we going to see Frank Martin again? When are we going to see Spence again? When are we going to see Crawford again? Like I said before, Crawford wouldn't be tweeting and speaking about this stuff if he didn't have concerns. But like I said, you guys don't want to hear the truth. You try to shame anybody that speaks out against the PBC and Al Haymon. Like I said, when I first heard about this PBC thing, I was excited about it. But as usual, A lot of times black people can't do business with other black people because they have this notion, get over on your own before you try to get over on somebody else. You want to try to be as honest as possible when it pertains to, you know, people that don't look like you. But your people, you feel like you can get over. I done been through this so many times. Even back in the day, you know, when you would be even on the turf. Even back in the day when you'll be buying some work, hey man, you try to cheat me out of a half a gram and all this stuff. It's not work. Oh man, it's this. Oh man, you said it was this when I cooked it. It ain't, and I'm getting complaints. Did did you cut it? Oh no, I didn't really cut. And then just that kind of stuff. Black people don't have no problem getting over on other black people, but all of a sudden, when it comes to other people, then all of a sudden they want to try to go by the book and be as honest as possible. And then when it comes to protecting, black people will rather defend everybody else except each other. They look out for everybody except other black people. They want to align and extend an olive branch to everybody else except, they want to tie everybody with them. So I'm just saying, I'm just listening to Leonard and his tweets talking about people gonna be sick and all this kind of stuff. Well, we wouldn't be sick. We sick and tired of the games. If y'all had just did right and y'all had played ball, everybody would have been better off. And that's just the truth. So, there you have it. Anyway, it's your boy Tam. I'm out.